the camera guys, remember they do one take, right? They do this sort of thing, and they all stop and they start rolling a cigarette and they're like speaking French and they're talking, and I'm like, what are we waiting on? Because I'm not used, because I'm in Georgia and it's like factory, get the machine moving, you know what I mean? And I'm like, what are we waiting on? And I don't know if it was you or Clemence explaining to me what they were saying, and they were like, well, what story are we telling with this camera movement? And I was like, just take your time. I don't know if this is the place I'm supposed to be. Thinking about all the people I left behind. Wondering if they're still thinking about me.
I want to just start by kind of asking if the producers, if any of you guys want to talk about this, why Spain? Why that's the next location you want to head to?
That's you, boss.
Oh, all right.
Why not?
Sangria.
Yeah, sangria, tapas, good food. But it's part of the progression of Daryl and Carol trying to get home. And if, they find their way there through a bunch of surprising and cool, compelling reasons, but Spain is right across the border from France, and they end up there.
Yeah, okay. Is the goal to kind of just keep hopping across the map as long as you guys can?
Well, it keeps it fresh for sure. I mean, one of the reasons we went to Europe to begin with was to really, have a whole new journey and take the characters that we know and put them, in a strange land and sort of get that vibe. So any opportunity that we can to continue exploring the world is a great opportunity for these characters.
I mean, it's one of the things that distinguishes us from the other Walking Dead shows is that we get to sort of show how different parts of the world have responded to the Walker apocalypse and the different impacts it's had in different places and come up with some cool new things that you don't see in the American versions.
And we're better.
You're better. There you go. Well, okay, so rewinding a little bit. Melissa, at what point did you decide that season 2 was gonna be your return and that this was going to stretch out longer?
At what point did it? That would have been. There was stuff to work out when he was shooting the first season. So Carol makes an appearance in the very end. What was the question?
I guess at what point did you decide you'll be the chapter 2 will be Carol?
In season 1. Right?
Yeah, it was pretty early on.
Early in
when I came on to start working on season 1, Melissa and I met and talked and started talking about it then. So it was pretty early in the process, and the plan from pretty early in the process was to bring Carol on at the end of season 1 and into season 2.
Yeah.
It was before the scripts were written for season 1.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So very early on.
Yeah.
Melissa, when we find Carol, how is she versus the last time we saw her, not counting in the finale of season 1? How has she changed?
Here's what I think. I think that she is concerned about where her friend is, but I also know that when things get quiet, things get stirred. So she's on a mission to find her friend.
Yeah.
For several reasons.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I can tell you.
Obviously, we know they.
But I can tell.
Norman,
I owed
you know
her
what I
money.
mean?
She was like, yeah, all of that. Yeah. But I mean, one of the good things is the relationship that they have. She can feel it. She can, something doesn't feel right. It's like a premonition.
She senses something's wrong.
It's not just like, he should have been here Thursday. So it's kind of they sort of finish each other's sentences in a way.
It's like a twin thing almost.
Yeah.
You know how you can feel.
Yeah, a little bit there's like a cosmic connection. Yeah.
Kind of, sort of. Yeah.
Do you feel like it's the same can Daryl feel that Carol is?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we've had storylines where one of us leaves and the other one comes to check on them, and we've both done that route. So, yeah, I feel like that's how they are. They're it's a bond that's a very tangible, cosmic sort of bond.
Can you guys tease a little at all how long it'll take in season 2 to see Carol and Daryl have this reunion, since it's not obviously going to be?
No, you can't tell you that. You can't tell you what episode they connect in.
It's a great journey. We can say.
Yeah.
It's a great journey, but it doesn't take that long. Can I say that?
About 15 minutes. No.
How many episodes did we do?
We only made 6 episodes.
There, so
I can
somewhere
say
in
less
the
than
first
6.
six.
Somewhere
Yeah.
in the six.
Yeah.
Louis, I want to ask you about bringing Laurent into this world. Kind of opened up this possibility of maybe, an immunity, a supernatural element, maybe something like that. Will that be something that will continue in season 2?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we'll have to find out, and
He's a pro.
Yeah.
we're just waiting for
Spending
it.
too
right?
much time with these two.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's right? A lot of it is about the people around Laurent and what they feel about him, what they think, what they put onto him as something to believe in and something to protect. So we do definitely explore that in season 2, and it certainly affects what you do and how you're interacting with people and some of the trouble that you find as a result of that.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Good. Daryl obviously was left with a big choice at the end of season 1, and I think a lot of the theme of this new family and what family really is something that I think that was the reason that Walking Dead was so popular in the beginning. I mean, because
Sure.
it's a found family and that theme. Is that going to be, I guess, what are the themes we're going to expect going forward and in season 2, and if that theme is going to continue as well?
That's a big theme. Daryl sort of finds a sense of family with these people that he didn't see it coming. He accepted a mission to get to a certain spot, to get out of there. And that journey along the way, real life things happen between he and the people that he's met. And he starts to care about them. And by the last scene of season 1, it's a real sort of hacking a machete to get to the boat and it's the guilt of leaving them behind. I mean, he's never left the Abbey. He's never been out in the real cruel world. So I don't know, Daryl's just not the guy to leave him high and dry and bail. So that's the sense of family is a big part. He's got a family over there. He's got a new family here. What does he do?
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's part of the thing she can feel.
Well, it's also interesting because we've set up at the end of season 1 that Carol is on a mission to find her friend, but Daryl has no idea that she's looking. So Daryl is getting sort of more and more dug in with this group of people. Plus, something that we haven't talked about a lot are the villains in the show, because we have some really fantastic actors. We have Roman and we have Anne, and it's a different kind of villain that we've ever experienced in the Walking Dead universe before, and it's exciting because they're bringing another level to it. But I like the idea that Daryl really doesn't know she's coming, and there's a possibility that he's gonna get really drawn to staying with these people. It's either that or season 2 opens with Laurent torn to pieces by zombies on the beach, and Daryl on the boat going, later, see ya.
But
that's gonna happen.
But I will say, season 2 does allow us to get more deeply into the antagonistic characters who are played by great actors, and gives us a lot more room to sort of expand on them. And just to finish up that thought, the whole thing is really about the definition of family or home, which are kind of interchangeable or connected at the very least. And the interesting thing is that Daryl kind of stays because he has this sense of responsibility to this new family and home, and Carol kind of leaves in search of, in a way, her family and her home, which is sort of personified by Daryl.
There's also the mythology of this kid and what he means to the people. Get up and fight. He's almost like this mythical creature. So there's that. There's that old Braveheart, come on, this is our day thing. So there's that with the bad guys, and the bad guys sort of fighting that, from preventing that from happening. And then you got this kid who's looked at as, I guess, just as a kid from Daryl, right?
Yeah.
And then, but also what he means. He means you can't just drop that ball off, not just because he's a kid, but because he's a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's the reason to get up and fight,
Sure. How different has it been? I mean, now heading to another country, but even just going back to filming not in the U.S. I mean, what have you guys been doing outside of filming? What do you do for fun when you hit
What
off?
don't we do?
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
we lived in Paris for a year. It was pretty great. But I'll tell you that one of the things that's most interesting is I directed the premiere for season 2, and a lot of it deals with Carol, and a lot of it deals with Daryl's stories. And I think one of the things that we did really well in season 1 was give the flavor of the other country. You know, we really leaned into, you know, the mythology of what post-apocalyptic France would look like. And, you know, the locations that we went to, Marseille and Martigues and all these beautiful places.
Mont Saint-Michel.
Mont Saint-Michel.
Yeah, and gave the world a vision of what those places looked like. So to be able to continue that, and we do it a lot in season 2. We hit a lot of other really unique places. That was something that was very different. And you know, the filming style, some of the directors and the cinematography, really we wanted to sort of just embrace a different style. You know, we used a lot of Steadicam, and you know, I don't think we ever put the camera on a dolly, ever. It was always developing shots where you're introducing little pieces of information as the camera weaves and moves and tells our story. And that was a lot of fun for me as a director who had done 40 episodes in the original series. So I enjoyed that quite a bit. So I had that, and then, you know, the stuff with Carol. So I shot partly supposed to be the U.S. and then partly in France.
Right.
You know, we were filming one day when season 1, and you know, you're on this show that's, you know, we're shooting in Georgia, and it's like boom, 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 and it's getting bigger and bigger and becomes this monster of a thing. We were sitting there, and the camera guys, remember, they're like, they do one take, right? And they do this sort of thing, and they all stop, and they start rolling a cigarette, and they're like speaking French, and they're talking, and I'm like, what are we waiting on? Because I'm not used, because I'm in Georgia, and it's like factory, get the machine moving, you know what I mean? And I'm like, what are we waiting on? And I don't know if it was you or Clemence explaining to me what they were saying, and they were like, well, what story are we telling with this camera movement? And I was like, just take your time. You know? But that's like what Greg's saying with the camera work and everything. There's like, we've jumped off that super fast moving train, and we're like making this very artistic, poetic story somewhere else. It's been a real joy.
Yeah,
you know?
that's incredible. And it gives you more time to hop over to a Taylor Swift concert when you're over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. But I mean, there's lots of fun things to do in Europe.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Did I tell you I was at Taylor Swift? Is that
You mentioned it. And
literally yesterday? Yeah. I'm so tired.
what's your favorite era?
Oh shit! I don't know. I don't know, but I mean, I like songs. I don't know which.
Okay, what's the song?
I like "Look What You Made Me Do." Look what you made me do. Oh, and I like.
Oh man.
Shut up. And I like.
Shut up.
Because I have a 5-year-old daughter who loves it, right? But like that one song that's like "Love Her." When my 5-year-old daughter, I'm like, stop it. You know. There's a lot of songs. I don't know what era that is.
I love that. All right, so our last thing we're just
Put
asking
me on the
everybody.
spot like that.
It's okay.
She's
Yes,
gonna-
this
she's gonna kill
this
me.
is the last one. I
Let's
promise.
talk about Taylor.
What is there a show that's on your watch list for this year?
Yeah, The Boys. Oh, you talking to me?
Any of you?
Yeah, I like The Boys a lot. That show's fun. What about you? I can't just see South Park every year.
So many. Yeah, I have a lot of catching up to do. I don't know.
Right.
There's a lot.
I'm loving House of the Dragon. Great show. Can't wait for
Shogun, I heard, is awesome.
The Bear's good.
You just made me think of this too, but I kind of want to see Fallout. Which
Fallout.
Greg is nominated for an Emmy for Fallout.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
It's a great
Thank you
show.
guys so much.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
Thanks for coming by.
Cool.
you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.